Emma needs the money more than you do, my mother said, her voice sharp with disappointment. She's going through a difficult time. I stared at my bank account on my phone screen, watching my savings dwindle yet again. At 29, I had given my sister over $50,000 in emergency loans that were never repaid. Mom, I can't keep doing this, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I've helped her with rent, car payments, credit card debt. She needs to learn to stand on her own. How dare you? My mother snapped. Your sister is pursuing her dreams. Not everyone can be as cold and calculating as you. Emma's dreams had changed monthly for the past 5 years. Fashion designer, social media influencer, life coach, cryptocurrency expert, each venture funded by my hard-earned money, while I worked 60-hour weeks as a software engineer. My father's heavy footsteps echoed down the hallway. "What's this about you refusing to help your sister?" he demanded, entering the kitchen. She called us crying. Her rent is due tomorrow. Maybe she should get a job, I suggested quietly. Any job. The silence that followed was deafening. My parents exchanged that look I'd grown familiar with, the one that said I was being difficult, unreasonable, selfish. A job. My mother repeated, as if I'd suggested something obscene. Your sister is special. She's not meant for ordinary work like you. There it was. The comparison that had haunted my entire life. Emma was special, creative, meant for greater things. I was practical, boring, meant to support her dreams. I'm done, I said, standing up from the kitchen table. I'm not giving her any more money. Sit down, my father ordered. We're not finished discussing this. Yes, we are. I've given her enough to buy a house. Instead, she spent it all on designer clothes, fancy restaurants, and failed business ventures. I'm not doing it anymore. My mother's face crumpled. How can you be so heartless? She's your sister. And I'm your daughter, I replied. But you've never worried about my dreams, have you? My father slammed his hand on the table. That's enough. If you won't help your sister, then you're no longer our daughter. Get out. The words hung in the air, heavy with finality. I looked at their faces, seeing no love, no understanding, just disappointment and anger. Okay, I said simply, grabbing my purse and laptop bag. Goodbye. Where are you going? My mother called after me, her voice wavering slightly. Away from here. Away from all of this. As I walked to my car, my phone buzzed. Emma was calling, probably to guilt-trip me about the rent money. I declined the call and turned off my phone. That night, I booked a one-way ticket to Seattle, where my company had an office. I had enough savings left to start over, savings I protected from Emma's latest emergency. The next morning, I packed 2 suitcases with essentials and drove to the airport. My phone showed dozens of missed calls and messages, all variations of the same theme. I was selfish, heartless, a terrible sister and daughter. The last message was from my mother. If you get on that plane, don't ever come back. You're dead to us. As I boarded my flight, I felt surprisingly light. Years of guilt, manipulation, and financial drain lifted from my shoulders. I had no idea what awaited me in Seattle. But for the first time in years, I was free to find out. My future was finally my home. 3 years passed in Seattle like a dream. Without the constant drain of supporting Emma, I was able to focus on my own growth. I invested in a tech startup, working nights and weekends alongside my regular job. The freedom to use my money for my own future felt almost surreal. The startup, a security software company I co-founded, caught the attention of major investors. We grew rapidly, and suddenly I wasn't just a software engineer. I was a successful entrepreneur. Forbes featured our company in their 30 under 35 list, with my photo and story prominently displayed. That's when the calls started. The first voicemail came from Emma. Hey sis, her voice dripped with fake cheerfulness. I saw the article about your company. So proud of you. Listen, I have this amazing business idea, and since you're doing so well now, delete. Then came my mother's message. Sweetie, we miss you so much. Why haven't you called? Your father and I were just talking about how successful you've become. Emma showed us the article. We always knew you had potential. Delete. My father's voice was next, gruff and awkward. Your mother's been crying since we saw the magazine. You could have told us about your company. We're still your family. Delete. 12 more voicemails followed in quick succession. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Relatives who had sided with my parents 3 years ago, who had called me selfish and heartless for not supporting Emma. Now they all wanted to reconnect, to congratulate me, to share in my success. I sat in my modern Seattle apartment overlooking the city lights, listening to message after message. Each one made me feel more certain about my decision to leave. Did you see all the calls? My best friend Kate asked over dinner that evening. She'd moved to Seattle 6 months after I did, the only person from home who had supported my decision. 15 voicemails, I confirmed, sipping my wine. All because of the Forbes article. And? Kate raised an eyebrow. Are you going to respond? I thought about the last 3 years, the peace I'd found, the success I'd built, the life I created without their constant demands and guilt trips. Emma started posting about me on social media, I said instead of answering, calling me her brilliant big sister and tagging me in throwback photos. She's telling everyone how close we are. Kate snorted. The same sister who hasn't paid back a dime of what she owes you. Who called you a selfish witch when you stopped funding her lifestyle. The very same. My phone buzzed again. Another voicemail, this time from my mother's best friend. Dear, your mother is devastated that you shut them out. They've changed, they understand now. Emma's really grown up too. She has a new business idea. I turned off my phone. They haven't changed, I said to Kate. They just want access to my success. If I hadn't made it, if the company had failed, they wouldn't be calling. So what are you going to do? I thought about the new investment opportunity I've been exploring, a chance to expand our company internationally. I thought about the freedom I found in building something of my own, without my family's constant interference. Nothing, I replied. I'm going to continue living my life. They had their chance to be part of it. They chose Emma. Kate raised her glass. To choosing yourself. As we clinked glasses, my mind wandered to the day I left, to my mother's final message. You're dead to us. They had made their choice then, just as I had made mine. Success hadn't changed who they were. It had only changed what they wanted from me. Later that night, as I prepared for bed, my landline rang, a number only my closest friends and business associates had. My heart stopped when I heard the voice on the other end. Hello, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. My mother's voice was soft, cajoling, the tone she used when she wanted something. It took me ages to get this number from your cousin Jennifer. I sat on my bed, heart pounding. What do you want? Want? Can't a mother call her successful daughter? We saw the Forbes article. Your father and I are so proud. Stop, I interrupted. You weren't proud 3 years ago when you told me I was dead to you. What's changed? Oh right, my bank account. There was a pause, then a sigh. Emma needs your help. Of course. It always came back to Emma. She has this brilliant business plan, my mother continued, a social media consulting agency. She just needs startup capital. Since you understand business now. I laughed, cutting her off. Understand business? Mom, I didn't just understand it 3 years ago when I refused to keep funding Emma's schemes. I understood it then too. The difference is now you can't ignore my success. That's not fair. We're family. Family? My voice rose. Family doesn't disown their daughter for refusing to be an ATM. Family doesn't call their child heartless for setting boundaries. Family doesn't. Your sister is in trouble. My mother's voice cracked. She took out some loans, bad loans. She needs $75,000 by next month or... I closed my eyes, remembering all the emergencies that had drained my savings before. No. But, let me guess, I said, my voice steady. She got involved in something sketchy, promised returns that were too good to be true, and now she's in over her head. Again, the silence confirmed my suspicion. You know what I did when I needed startup capital? I continued. I worked 60-hour weeks. I saved. I pitched to investors. I built something real. Emma's different. Yes, she is, because you and Dad made her different. You taught her that she never had to work for anything, that someone would always bail her out. That's not love, Mom. That's enabling. I heard muffled voices on the other end, then my father came on the line. Now listen here, young lady. No, you listen, I said, surprising myself with my calmness. I'm not giving Emma money. Not now, not ever. She's 32 years old. It's time she grew up. And it's time you both stopped expecting me to fix her problems. We're coming to Seattle, he announced. We'll discuss this in person. No, You're not, I replied. You don't have my address, and you won't get it. I have a restraining order ready to file if you try to force contact. I heard my mother's gasp in the background. You wouldn't dare, my father growled. Try me. I protect my peace now, and that includes keeping toxic family members away. After I hung up, I sat in the quiet of my bedroom, looking at the Seattle skyline. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma. You selfish bitch. You have all this money now and you won't help your own sister? I blocked her number. The next morning, I walked into my office, nodding to my team as I passed. On my desk sat the international expansion proposals I'd been reviewing. Real business, real growth, real success. Not the get-rich-quick schemes Emma chased. Kate stopped by during lunch. How are you holding up? I showed her the blocked numbers on my phone, the emails marked as spam, the social media accounts I'd muted. I'm protecting my peace, I said simply. She smiled. You know what? The old you would have caved. You would have sent the money just to stop the guilt trips. The old me didn't know her worth, I replied. The old me thought family meant sacrificing yourself to enable others' bad behavior. And the new you? I looked around my office, at the company I built, the life I created. The new me knows that sometimes the best family is the one you choose. The new me understands that love doesn't come with a price tag. That evening, I deleted the remaining voicemails without listening to them. My real family, the friends who supported me, the team that worked beside me, the people who celebrated my success without trying to profit from it, they were all I needed. I was no longer the ATM, the enabler, the reliable daughter they could guilt into submission. I was just me, and finally, that was